Good morning students, myself KL. I hope everybody are safe and healthy. In this COVID-19 pandemic and challenging situation time, our learning should not stop. So I like to take forward in the form of virtual class. Welcome you all to the academic year 2020-21 fifth semester. The subject is legal aspects in business, or in general business law. The contents or subject which I am going to cover is business law, Indian Contract Act 1872, essentials of a valid contract. Business law. See, you are able to see two words, business and law. When I say business is a commercial activity. Commercial activity means an act to make or intent to make a profit. Otherwise, a business which comprises of all profit seeking activities, we can say. On the other hand, we have law. Law, I hope everybody know what is law. It is a rules and regulation which everybody has to follow. There is no exception to it. If I want to say, law is commonly understood as a system of rules that are created and governed through social or governmental institutions to regulate our behavior. And here the business law is law which is related to the business entities. We'll see now Indian Contract Act 1872. Indian Contract Act is also known as Mercantile Law of India. It was enforced on 1st September 1872. Drafted by James Stephen before independence by the Britishers. Total 266 sections are there. From 1 to 75 we have general provision, from 76 to 123 sale of goods, from 124 to 147 indemnity and guarantee, and 148 to 181 bailment and pledge, from 182 to 238 agency, and 239 to 226 partnership. In the year 1930, the sale of goods were removed from Indian Contract Act and separate legislation was passed. It was named as Sales of Goods Act. Similarly, in 1932, the partnership was removed from Indian Contract Act and separate legislation was formed and was named as Partnership Act from the section 239 to 226. We'll know now what is contract, what is the meaning of contract, and what is definition, what are the elements in a contract. An agreement which is legally enforceable alone is a contract. What is an agreement? Agreement may be a written, oral, or inferred from an act. For an agreement, there must be two persons. A single person can't make an agreement. So you agree with me, there must be a two or more person for a deal. Otherwise, we can say deal or an agreement. I use one word, legally enforceable. Legally enforceable means there must be some law which forces or enforces us to do our part of duty. A duty here means obligation as per the contract. I go with the definition. According to section 2H, a contract is defined as an agreement enforceable by law. Here you are able to see the two components that makes a contract, that is agreement and enforceable by law. When I say agreement may give rise to a legal obligation as well as a social obligation. Only legal agreements are enforceable by law. Make a note of it. Only legal agreements are enforceable by law. If I go as per the definition by Indian Contract Act, according to section 2E, every promise, every set of promises forming the consideration for each other. It is a definition. If you go into the meaning, every promise, a set of promises. I mean, suppose I want to sell my car to my friend for rupees 2 lakh, and my friend accepts my offer. So she is accepting my proposal. When she is accepting, she is giving her assent. So there's a promise to accept my offer. So what happens there? Offer is made, the offer has been accepted, and accepted for what? They accepted for a consideration. The consideration is the car for my friend, and 2 lakh the money value is for me. So every promises and every set of promises forming the consideration for each other. If you want to know, as per the definition, what is promise? A proposal when accepted becomes a promise. So one more example. If I want to sell my mobile to 5,000 to Sham. Sham accepts my proposal. When he accepts my proposal, it becomes a promise. So for promise, there must be a proposal and that proposal must be accepted. When it is accepted, that becomes an agreement. That's why I have written agreement is equal to offer plus acceptance. What is offer? Offer is a proposal which is made by one person and it is created by one person for other person to whom it has to be made. And consideration, as per the contract, it is a valid contract. When consideration is the written benefit the parties to the contract get. As per the contract, consideration is quid pro quo, as it is pronounced like QID PRO QUO. It means something in written you get from your obligation. Make it clear that valid agreement, when you say valid agreement, valid contract, the consideration which you are getting from it should also be a lawful consideration. For if an illegal act, whatever the benefits you get, it will be an illegal consideration. So it is not considered in a contract. And there is one more element, conscience and item. According to section 13, meeting of minds or identity of mind or seizing the same thing in the same sense at the same time. This is also very wonderfully said. For example, I have two flats, one flat in Anna Nagar and one flat in T Nagar. I offer to sell one of my flat to a person who need of flat. He comes to me and he approaches me. I said, okay, I am ready to sell one of my flat to him, but I have not specified which flat to him, and he is taking into consideration that he is going to buy the flat in Anna Nagar. So there is no conscience and item because I intended to sell the flat which is in Arambakam. So the meeting of minds is not there, identity of minds is not there, receiving the same thing in the same sense is also missing. If this criteria is also not there in a contract, we can't say it is valid contract. Next, I have given one more example. We will see. X says to Y, will you buy my laptop for 30,000? And Y says, I will buy the laptop from you at 30,000. See, it is a proposal which X places to Y and Y accepted proposal. What is a proposal? To buy the X laptop for worth value 30,000. And Y says, yes, I will buy the laptop from you at 30,000. So there is a proposal and there is an acceptance for that proposal. Then both are there, that is known as promise. Then when it is accepted for a consideration, then it becomes agreement. Now we will see what is enforceable by law. Enforce means to compel observation of or obedience to. I will make a simple example instead of reading all these things. It is as per the book, as per the I have written here, so you can understand it later on reading. I give an example. I want to buy Samsung LED TV through online. So I go to Amazon portal and I find a vendor, I find a seller who sends a Samsung LED TV, and I read its terms and conditions. After reading a terms and condition, I agree to it. And there is two options, cash on delivery or make payment in advance. What I do payment in advance. When I do payment in advance, my part of obligation, legal obligation, got over. So on agreed day, on a particular day, at agreed time, I have to receive my Samsung LED TV by a particular vendor. But that day, and it is not been delivered. If it is not delivered, what is the obligation on the part of vendor? So he has to refund the money to me. He can't deny. If he does so, I can go to the court and can get the help of the court. I can sue him for the compensation and I can get the claim for my money. I give one more example. I'm feeling very hungry, I want to eat pizza. So I go to Swiggy portal, and I see nearby any McDonald's are there. I order pizza. After booking pizza, I pay the money, and Swiggy guy come and he delivers to money. It is a valid contract, it gets over. If you go to shop, if you buy a book, it becomes a valid contract. If you go to restaurant, you have a cup of coffee, it is a valid contract. You have coffee and you pay the money. The same way, I like to eat pizza, I order to Swiggy portal, I agree on a condition on cash on delivery. So what happens when pizza has been delivered, I am going to pay the money. If pizza is not delivered, I need not to pay money. So this is also a valid agreement. So I need not to enforce him for delivering the pizza for which I have not paid. When you have part of obligation has been completed as per the terms and condition, other party has to fulfill his obligation. He has not fulfilled it, so he has kept his part of obligation pending and he is denying it. So you have to get a remedy. Where will you go? You will go to the court and you will get the help of the court by suing the case against him, by showing all the documents, written document, attestation, you put all the legal terms which is required for a contract. Next we'll see obligation. What is obligation? Obligation is an act or course of action which a person is morally or legally bound. As per contract, an agreement to become a contract must give rise to a legal obligation or duty. This you guys know very well now from the definition to which a contract is an agreement enforceable by law. Otherwise, a contract is equal to agreement plus enforceability. Agreement may give rise to a legal obligation or social obligation. When it gives rise to a legal obligation, then it is a contract. When it gives rise to a social obligation, then it is not a contract. It remains agreement. For example, A agrees to sell his car to B for rupees 2 lakh. Agreement gave rise to an obligation. Here the obligation is legal obligation on a part of A to deliver the car to B, and on part of B to pay. So the legal obligation is to pay the money. Sorry, I have written 50,000, it is 2 lakh to A. This agreement is a valid contract. Second example, A promised to sell his car to B for rupees 2 lakh received by him. See, he has received the money. When he received the money, his part of legal obligation got over. So what he has to do after paying the money, he has to get the car which is being kept due by A. So A has to fulfill it. It is not completed. So legal obligation on part of A to deliver the car to B. And I said agreement may give rise to a social agreement also. So social agreement will give, see an example. If A invites B to a dinner and B accepts the invitation, it is a social agreement. A social agreement does not give rise to contractual obligation. It is not enforceable in court of law. I think you agree with this. If you want me to give more example, I will give. If Vishal and Rahul want to watch a movie in a theater, on a particular day, they decide to go. But Vishal not able to make it because of certain reasons. Will Rahul will sue Vishal? No, it is not possible. It is out of personal in nature. So he can't do that. One more example, between father and a son. Father used to give daily pocket money to his son, and on a particular day his father fails to give the money to his son. Will son will sue against his father? No, it is a domestic agreement where there is no legal bending on father to pay money to his son. It is out of domestic agreement, out of his concern as a relationship of a father and a son. He gives the money to son as a pocket money. So it is social agreement, it is not a legal agreement. That's why it's go with a statement all contracts are agreement, all agreements are not contract. When I say all contracts are agreement, it has passed through all the essential elements of a contract which is required as per section 10. When I say all contracts are agreement, for agreement there must be two parties, two or more parties, offer and acceptance must be there. There must be a consideration, that consideration must be lawful consideration. There must be a conscience and item, it means meeting of mind in a for the same subject matter. And agreement, the offer which you are keeping should be a valid offer, and the relationship which is coming out of that valid offer should be a lawful one. Then only all such kind of legal agreement are said to be a contract. Next one, all contracts, all agreements are not contract. When I say this statement, this goes to social agreement. Social agreement does not give rise to contractual obligation. So all those agreements which does not give rise to a contractual obligation are not enforceable, so it is not contract. Ma'am, now you can say, why ma'am it is not enforceable? As per the law, only legal obligations are enforceable, where you are legally bound towards your act. Here you are not legally bound, so you are not enforceable. In the case of father and son, in the case of friends, when you decide to go to a movie or you decide to go out, your friend, you borrow the money from your friend, and out of concern he gives you the money. All the situation, it is a personal nature. It doesn't give rise to any legal obligation, so it is not enforceable in the court of law. Next, I have made in the form of chart. Agreement. What is agreement? Agreement is offer plus acceptance, proposal plus acceptance. When this is enforceable, then it becomes contract. Proposal, promise, proposal. What is proposal? Proposal is a when you gives an offer, when that offer is accepted, it becomes a promise, and there is some consideration that benefit for that offer, then it's said to be an agreement. It is legally enforceable and it is not legally enforceable. Legally enforceable, and now only I have made clear what is legally enforceable and what is contract. So legally enforceable means that when you make a contract, it should bond legally between the parties, then only it's said to be a contract. Voidable contract. Voidable contract, see, the word is contract is there. So voidable contract means from the beginning it is valid between offerer and offeree. Offerer has given an offer and it has been accepted by the offeree. All the legal terms has been fulfilled, it is valid. But it is a stage of formation. You have formed it. You are given an offer. The offer has been accepted. You have get a particular day to perform it. I am talking about performance. At the time of performance, there is no possibility. It may be due to many reasons. So when there is no possibility, it becomes voidable. I give an example. I have a property. Okay. Near Arumbakam. The property belongs to my ancestor, so I don't want to give an offer for sales. But nearby a person who is very influential person, he wants that property, he wants to hold over that property. He comes to me at the point of knife, he gets my acceptance. In the fear, I accept it. Okay, I am ready to sell it to you, just take my property. I make an agreement with him, everything has been, terms and condition has been fulfilled, paper has been. But before the performance, I agreed verbally, I agreed all the terms and conditions have been fulfilled. Before the performance, it means that, sorry, I have used that words, that all the terms and condition has been fulfilled. Not, I am not saying that. Only oral agreement has done between us at the point of knife. Will you ready to give the property to me? At the point of knife, he is getting my acceptance. I say, oh, okay, I am ready to give my property. Later on, before performance, what happens? I go and get the help of police. Even though he is influential, I try to get the help of police. I able to tell that my property which I I am the owner. He came and I just at the point of knife he forced me to accept it. Now he is going to for registration. I don't want to do that. So what happens here, if he puts a case against him and it goes to the court, the court says that it is voidable at the option of aggrieved party. He can't further perform. Court keeps a full stop with it because it is not a valid contract, because his consent was not free. There was coercion, there was threatening, there was undue influence which made him to accept the contract. So that is voidable contract. Legally not enforceable. It is void contract. From the beginning it is invalid. It is void ab initio. There is no legality. So as per the contract we say for agreement is made between two persons. When I say use the word agreement is made between the two persons should be at the age of majority. Minors can't enter into an agreement. So when a minor enter into agreement, it becomes a void agreement. If an unsound person enter into agreement, it becomes a void agreement. If an unqualified person has been disqualified by law, if enters into agreement, it becomes a void agreement. From the beginning it is void ab initio. Next, we will see essentials of a valid contract. To agreement to become enforceable, it has to pass all this essentials which is mentioned in section 10. First one is valid offer and acceptance. Of course, the proposal which you are keeping or placing to the other person should be a valid offer, and the proposal is accepted towards your offer should also be a valid acceptance. So agreement have two components, offer and acceptance. The person who makes the offer known as offerer, and person who accept the offer known as offeree. Legal relationship. If you, as per the contract, when a person is making an agreement, there must be intention to create a relationship among the parties. If it is not there, then it is not a contract. So legal relationship only be enforceable in court of law. If this is missing, then it is not a contract. Next one, lawful consideration. When I say lawful consideration, I have given one example to you. If A likes to sell his car to B for rupees 2 lakh and B accepts that proposal, and on the delivery of the car he pays the amount of 2 lakh to the A. So this is valid offer and acceptance is valid intention of creating a legal relationship. So consideration will be legal and lawful. On other aspect, at the point of knife, you get the money from me, or I borrow a person to kill someone. So my motive itself is wrong. When motive itself is wrong, the object itself wrong, what are the benefit or consideration I am going to get will not be lawful. It will be illegal. As per the law, consideration should be lawful. A benefit which you are going to get from an obligation, that obligation should be a legal obligation, and the benefit you are getting from the legal obligation should be a legal consideration. Next one, capacity of parties. I think you know what is capacity of parties. Capacity of parties means a person who are competent enough to perform a contract. If you go to a lunatic, will he understand the terms and conditions of the offer which you are going to place to him? If you go to a drunken person, at that stage, will he able to understand what are you conveying to him? Unsound mind, he is not in a position to understand what the terms and condition which is being placed by the offerer. So the person who is disqualified, they can't enter into a contract. A person who is below the age of 18 years can't enter into a contract. As per law, the person who is the age of majority, person who crossed the 18 years can enter into a contract, and person of sound mind can enter into a contract. A person who are not disqualified can enter into a contract. This is the meaning of capacity of parties. Next one, free consent. This is very wonderful concept. you have separate chapter for this. See, I have given one example in the case of voidable contract. I have a property, and a person comes to me, he asks for the property, and there is no willingness from my side to sell the property, but at the point of knife he gets my acceptance, but later on I go to the court and get by getting the help of police, and I am able to convey that my concern is not free. There was a coercion, threatening was there, which made me to accept that time. So what is missing there? I use the word coercion and threatening. Concern is not free. When I want to make an offer, there need my assent, there need my consent. When I am accepting something, acceptance should come freely. There should be a consent. That consent should not from anybody behind you who is forcing you to accept it. It should come freely from your side for doing anything, for accepting anything. So free consent is must. Then legality of object. When I say legality of object is legal terms, in the terms of legal terms. When I say object, it means the purpose. See, when I give an example. I hire a person to kidnap someone. Hiring a person, giving him the money for kidnapping someone, it's a concept itself, it's a wrong. The object, the motive behind itself is totally wrong. It is illegal. You can't say there is any legality. It is illegal. All illegal and unfull of objects are not contract. The object should be legal, then only you can say it's a valid contract. Next one, agreement not declared void. Agreement not declared void means only those agreements which expressly declared valid will be a valid contract. Agreement not declared void. So it means that there are some agreement which has been declared void by the contract from section 29 to section 32. Like restraint to marriage, restraint to trade. There are some agreements which are declared void where you can't enter into a contract. Next one, terms of agreement must be certain. When I certain, it means possibility of performance. When you make an agreement, it should be possible to perform. It should be certain. It should not be vague. It should be very clear. What is your agreement? Who is the owner? Who is having the possession of the goods? What is the value of the goods? Documents, who belong, the original documents with whom? The terms and agreement must be certain. The terms which are being placed by a offerer should be very clear, and it should not be vague. Next one, possibility of performance. When I say certain, of course there will be a possibility of performance. Uncertain, there will be no possibility of performance, where you can't proceed further. I think there is a famous Vadivel joke. He used to சொல்வான் கணருக்கு அங்கே கணர் இருந்தது ஆனால் இப்போ கணர் இல்லை. I can't understand. கணர் இருந்தது இப்போ கணர் இல்லை. There is no possibility. How can you say அந்த கணர் இருந்து அந்த கணர் அங்கே இருந்தது இப்போ அந்த கணர் இல்லை? So it is totally vague. It is imaginary and illusion. Which are all imaginary illusion, they are not certain, they are uncertain. So there is no possibility of performance. The next one is legal formality. This is the last one. Legal formalities. Oral agreements and which are the informed from the act, it is very difficult to get into court and get the remedy and get the benefit or get the claim for that. Only the written documents and which is attested and duly signed, and it is have all the basic informations in that, only those informations, those agreements are said to be a valid contract. If anything is missing, like the offerer name or offeree name, the time, the property, who is the owner of the property, who belongs to, where it is situated, all the basic requirement it should fulfill. If it is missing, it is not a valid contract. Thank you. I think the learning outcome will be what is business law, what is an agreement, definition of contract. All contracts are agreement, but all agreements are not contract. Essential elements of valid contract. I meet you in the next class. Thank you.